Was I already live? Oh, I didn't say go live yet. That's hilarious. Hi. I was just making a cup of tea and I had not hit the go live button, so I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. Hi. It says I'm live. I didn't say to go live. Okay. So, apparently the sunshine is on my teeth right now. I'm I've got all the blinds open and I was in full sunlight and now the sun is almost above that line of the windows. So we're just going to leave it like this for a while. You can see my shiny teeth and my nose. Um, that was embarrassing. Okay, so Mondays. Hi, I'm Sarah. Hi, I'm Sarah Peasley, hand knitter. Always the consummate professional. I don't know what consummate means. Um, just okay. So it's Monday morning. I do this every Monday morning from 9 to 9:30 Eastern time, depending on the time zone change. Time change. Ouch! Damn it. Who said hi? Hi, Diane. Ooh, I gotta move something. Hold on. Gotta move things. Hi, Marilyn. I had dead air. Now, where'd my other thing go? Okay. Now I can see comments. Okay. Phew, it's getting warm in here. So I today just made my cup of tea and I'm lying already. It's my second cup of tea because I've already been drinking this one, but that's a cup we've seen before. So my cup of tea today is, and it's for left-handers, I think, or else we're supposed to look at it while we drink. And it says, just pour me my tea, hand me my knitting, and slowly back away. And I had been eyeing this for a while, a few years, at the Wine and Wool Festival at the Sandhill Crane Vineyard down in Jackson. And one year, actually, I was eyeing it because I always said coffee, pour me my coffee, and then one year it said tea, so I bought it. I'm actually not going to drink that one because that's too hot. I just poured it. I don't know. I'm going to need a lot of tea today, apparently. Hi, Kelly. Now, are you living at Sylvan Lake or are you visiting Sylvan Lake? And I don't know where Sylvan Lake is, but hi, I'm glad you're here. Um, Always happy to see you. I was telling a story. Oh, so the Just Pour Me My Tea mug. So I bought it at the Wine and Wool Festival. It's twice a year. There's a summer version and a winter version normally. Summer one's indoors. Nope, summer one's outdoors in the vineyard, and the winter one's out. Nope, indoors in the building, the lovely building. So this past year, for the summer one, whatever month that was, sun's almost out of the window range. Um, I was in the booth. Okay, so I bought it at a booth at the vineyard thingy. Just tell the story, Sarah. That was visiting your lake house for a couple days. Nice. It's beautiful. It's been beautiful weather, except for that wind. The wind blew away my Alyssa Slotkin sign. The frame is still there, but the sign is gone. So, sorry. I did my part, but couldn't, I didn't look really hard because it was really windy, but it's not in my yard anymore. Um, mhm. Bought it at the booth, I guess you call it, the tent, the display of a yarn shop that was hosting or had some managerial administrative thing to do with the festival. I don't want to guess what it's called because I'll get it wrong, but I think a yarn shop in Jackson. That's where I bought the mug. That's where I had been eyeing the mug for years that said coffee, and then I saw one that said tea, and I bought it. And then this past summer, I was in the booth, the winemaker's daughter, no, the winemaker's sister. I don't know if that's what the booth was called. Anyway, this is how I typically tell a story. The winemaker's sister, who is the sister of the woman who owns or at least one of the women who own the vineyard, had a booth, and I was in there, and she had these mugs, and I said, "Oh, you have these mugs from that yarn store?" She said, "No, these are my mugs." So it turns out that she's the one who made the mugs. That's that story. Oh, wait, that's the hot one. Yeah, Sarah. So anyway, she's the one who made the mugs. So they're hand painted. Is that true? Yes, they're hand painted. Let me hold it with my left hand again now that the sun is in a more, whoop, no, it's not. There we go. Can you see it there? I am not left-handed. So winemaker's sister, um, there's probably something written underneath like initials, but it doesn't say winemaker sister. All right. So the first thing that I would like you to help me with today, because Mondays are for starting, if you've been a regular or if you've been on my in my Patreon account, if you've seen my Wednesday blog posts or my Friday live streams that balance out my Monday live streams, I've been working on a green sweater. I'll hold up the part that I'm done with. And we've made great strides in changing. This is the back, and it's supposed to be stockinette stitch according to the pattern, but as you can see, I put cables in. And I'm a little sad that I didn't think of it up here, so I feel like there should be a cable up there. See what I mean? So I thought, there should probably be a cable up there, but I don't know if I want to tear back. And I have hair that might cover it, right? So maybe it doesn't matter, but maybe won't always have the hair that might cover it. So this is the back, but I'm putting it on my front. And then my other question was, my other question was, or problem was, here, I'll use the hands camera. Which has the sun. My other question was, when I was figuring out the cables, well, doesn't look too bad on the camera. I did some like messy, like I have some rowing out there, which means my rows aren't even, although they look even on the camera. And I thought that maybe if because I did it wrong for the first, I don't know, 3 times I did those rows, started those rows because they're not typical cable rows. Anyway, I had done a swatch. I had never blocked the swatch, so today you're helping me block the swatch, because this was supposed to be the easy project that I could just blast through while I was thinking about my other projects, and that's not working so well, is it? So I think the lesson to me is to set it aside while I concentrate on one of the ones that I needed to think about. So I'm setting it aside, but I'm actually going to finish I'm going to block the swatch. I was being a trained professional and saying, well, since it's mostly wool with some alpaca, I think it's 80-15. Please hold. Giant skein of yarn. Since it's 80-15, yes, 85-15. Sarah, 80-15 doesn't add up. It's 85% wool, 15% alpaca. I was a math major, honest to gosh. Yeah. I decided that that it would be fine, that I wouldn't really have to block it. And we all know how that usually ends. So I put it in some water last night, and we're squooshing it out, not wringing, but squooshing. Wringing being twisting it. W-R-I-N-G. Squishing it out as much as I can. I'm going to move my bowl of water in my lovely backdrop. And then I'm going to plop it in this towel. Plopped it in the towel. Don't care what it looks like. All smashed up. Oh, excuse me. Roll it up. And then I can smash it into the towel. Normally, I would be throwing this onto my kitchen floor and walking on it. But, trying to, okay, whatever. Just keep doing it, Sarah. So this gets a lot of the water out. Squish it this way too. And again, not wringing, just squishing. I don't want to felt it. With wool and alpaca, it is definitely feltable. Okay, and then I had my Johnny Depp, Captain Jack Sparrow, Disney Pirates of the Caribbean plastic placemat that my mother-in-law gave me that I always used as my slippery blocking surface, and I can't surface, and I have no idea where it is. I wonder if I fired Johnny. It was splitting, like the thinner plastic was peeling off of the thicker plastic backing. So I don't know if I decided that that was no longer working and let him go, but I can't believe I would have done that with zero fanfare. So anyway, I'm using the back of one of these mats that you can pin to or steam on or cut on, that I don't really use for, I use it for steaming when I'm teaching, because I used to carry it in my suitcase places. So I just wanted to make that stop rolling. It's already almost perfectly dry, but not really. And I have it on a slippery surface because I'm just gonna let it dry to whatever shape it's gonna be, but it's been soaking overnight. See that? That's a bad thing because I could be felting it right there. Did I finish that sentence? With 85%, not 80%, Sarah, wool and 15% alpaca, it's totally feltable. And if I wanted to pin it out to a certain measurement, I could, but I want to see what it is naturally. This was the beginning on some needle size that I don't remember. And this is the end on the needle size I ended up using. So this is one needle size down. And at some point, I'll document that. Trained professional. Don't try this at home. Okay, so I'll let that dry. It's almost dry already, but tonight when I get home from work, it should be, perfectly dry. And then I can, what's this? This shadow is the mount, my camera mount that my phone is stuck to. And this is one of the cords, probably the one that's that's the one that's plugged into the power for my laptop. And this one is the one that's plugged into my phone. So there you go, behind the scenes, but in front of the scenes. So that is that. And I'm going to put this aside and we'll revisit it tonight or tomorrow when it's completely dry. And I'll just double check that my gauge was okay. Not that I'm worried about that in the slightest, because I changed the numbers of the stitches too. Thank you, Lonnie. Lonnie, I'm glad you're there, because when you first commented, not first maybe ever, but recently, I'm like, there's something about her name that's different, and I can't remember. So I tried pronouncing Lonnie like 6 different ways. There's only 2 or 3. And I'm like, that's not it. That's not it. And then I went, Lonnie Tay. It's Lonnie Tay, right? Am I right? So you're in my brain. I try to pronounce people's names correctly, but then I don't always remember. But I knew there was something about your name. It's nice to see you. So there's that. We didn't really start. We started our hiatus on that sweater. Yes, I knew it. Yay. I like it when I have brain cells that continue to work or that come back. Okay, so I'm also starting, Mondays are for starting. So I'm also starting, thank you. I'm also starting a book. I've been experimenting with audiobooks, but audiobooks from the library have the same problem that physical books from the library had, which is that I borrow them and then I get the notice that they're due. So I don't read them. The audiobook was going to be a great idea for while I wash the dishes, and I still think it would be, but maybe I should just put the classical music station on instead, because then I don't have to return it. Hi, Lindy. Oh my gosh. Hi. It's nice to see you too. It's been a while. Wow. Yay. I'm glad I switched to back to Facebook Live, because then I can get more surprise people. I was doing this on YouTube. I was doing this on Facebook Live, and then I switched to YouTube, my YouTube channel. Oh, I should tell you. And now I'm back to Facebook Live because I missed having people pop in like you guys. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I put out a call for subscribers. I put it everywhere. I'm like, oh, come on, I need to get more than 69 subscribers to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to hit the 70 mark, and I'm up to 108. But what happens at 100, which I'd already forgotten about, even though I've told you guys this, is that I get to have a real live grown-up URL, the address at the top of the screen for my YouTube channel. So now instead of YouTube channel gobbledygook, it says YouTube channel at Sarah Peasley Hand Knitter. So you guys did that for me. Thank you. So I had gotten this book a while ago. I don't know. I don't remember where I found out about it, but it's by a woman named Alexandra Horowitz. Well, that's not her, by the way. Sorry. I cracked myself up. There's a picture of her here somewhere. Oh, it's down below. There she is. So I'm going to read you the back cover. Alexandra Horowitz is also the author of Being a Dog. This is all one title. Being a Dog, Following the Dog into a World of Smell. On Looking, which I'll tell you about that one in a second. And, oh boy, okay, hang on just a sec, because if I'm actually going to read, I need my other glasses, the ones that make you blurry. Okay, ooh, I can't see you now. Can't see you anyway. All right, oh gosh. And then, of course, they're progressive. Here we go. And Our Dogs Ourselves. That's 3, plus this one. She is Senior Research Fellow and head of the Dog Cognition Lab at Barnard College, Columbia University. So not a podunk town. Not that there's anything wrong with podunk universities or colleges. She is owned by canines Finnegan and Upton and tolerated by feline Edsel. I like that, tolerated by feline Edsel. So I have this book, and I also sent it to my brother. Without reading it, I also sent it to my brother-in-law who used to work at a vet's office, and as long as and likes dogs, like they have my sister and he have had rescue Airedales, yeah, I think that's right, for a long time. But I also was intrigued by the book On Looking that she wrote, and I don't think I purchased that one, but I want to. And that is walking through her city, which is probably New York, because, with a toddler and noticing what they look at. So, when you take a walk, you might notice pretty doors on buildings or the flowers in the gardens. But so she was looking at through the eyes of a toddler. Okay, so I thought that one was intriguing too. Just a different perspective, things that we don't normally look at. Here's the back cover, and then we'll do our tarot reading. The answers will surprise. Oh, the #1 best-selling book that asks why. What dogs know. Just because I have the right glasses on doesn't mean I know how to read. What dogs know and how they think, now in paperback. Really? Would never have guessed. The answers will surprise and delight you as Alexandra. This is a performance art, a dramatic reading for you of the back cover. Okay. Hi, Danielle. Are you back? Welcome back. Hang on. You get to read a book with me, and then we're going to do tarot. Okay. It's not really tarot, Sarah. Horowitz, this answers will surprise and delight you as Alexandra Horowitz, a cognitive scientist, explains how dogs perceive their daily worlds, each other, and that quirky animal, the human. Horowitz introduces the reader to dogs' perceptual and cognitive abilities and then draws a picture of what it might be like to be a dog. What's it like to be able to smell not just every bit of open food in the house, but also to smell sadness in humans or even the passing of time? How does a tiny dog manage to play successfully with a Great Dane? What is it like to hear the bodily vibrations of insects or the hum of a fluorescent light? Why must a person on a bicycle be chased? I'd like to know that too. What's it like to use your mouth as a hand? I mean, we know that, right? Hold things, darning needles. Hold on, now I have to find out where I was. In short, what is it like for a dog to experience life from 2 feet off the ground? I guess it depends on the dog. Amidst the smells of the sidewalk, gazing at our ankles or knees. Okay, that's halfway through. Ready? Inside of a Dog, that's the book, explains these things and much more. That's what makes you want to turn the page. The answers can be surprising. Once we set aside our natural inclination to anthropomorphize dogs, that means to assign them human characteristics. I looked it up. Inside of a Dog also contains up-to-the-minute research on dogs' detection of disease, the secrets of their of their tails, maybe their trails, and their skill at reading our attention that Horowitz puts into useful context. Although not a formal training guide, Inside of a Dog has practical application for dog lovers interested in understanding why their dogs do what they do. With a light touch and the weight of science behind her, Alexandra Horowitz examines the animal we think we know best but may actually understand the least. This book is as close as you can get to knowing about dogs without being a dog yourself. So I bought this was a COVID purchase, early COVID purchase, and I trying to clean up my living room, so I'm putting the piles of books that I've purchased since COVID started, well, like ever, which isn't just since COVID started, but I like to have the books around, but I haven't actually read them, and I think it's time to put them on the shelves, and then I can read them from the shelves instead of from the piles on my, couch, and not look like a hoarder when the cleaning person comes, who I just hired. Like, don't judge me by all my books. Not that there's a problem with that. Sarah? So when I found this one in the piles and I thought, oh, I want to read I'll put that at the top of the list to read. There was a bookmark in it. This particular bookmark, it must be from my sisters because it says Scotland, where our my mother's parents lived in Scotland and came over. And it's purple. It was on page 43. And I looked at page 43. I'm like, yeah, I don't even remember reading any of those. So I started over again. And now I'm on last night before I went to sleep. And now I'm on page 5 or maybe 4. I have to get back into this whole reading thing. All right, now let's do this so I can see you, which is really me. So that's kind of selfish. And we're going to do this. I can't believe I already had a cup of tea going before I poured my cup of tea for you guys. What am I doing? Okay, so daily oracle reading. This is a weekly occurrence. It's the only thing that Danielle's here for, because she doesn't care about any dog books. Am I right? And we're going to shuffle the Knitter's Oracle cards 3 times. You can listen. Oh, I'm pretty stiff today. There's once. There's twice. Sunset Studio is good for me now, but the shadows are still on my little surface here. That's 3. And then we cut the cards. So I'm just saying there's shadows still. I can move my book a little bit farther. You ready? So Knitter's Oracle is... oh, thank you, Danielle. She loves it all, not just the tarot. I keep calling it tarot. Nowhere does it say tarot. It says cartomancy, Cartomancy, which is probably another word for tarot. I don't know. But it's a set called the Knitter's Oracle, designed by Alexandra Tinsley, who used to be a knitwear designer. And she also used to be a creative director at Malabrigo Yarns, in case any of you are Malabrigo fans. But this is just a little, thing I do to see how the week's going to go, or try to get a reason to live, And then I usually forget about them, although I will say the one that told me that I should be, oh my gosh, a branch fell down. Oh, good. It's been really windy. It looks like 2 branches. It's been really windy. I have branches down on my patio. Good thing I wasn't sitting there. I'm waiting for some big dead branches to come down. Oh, there's another one. Looks like I need to go work in the yard. Okay, so the one where I decided it meant we needed to get in touch with people and tell them we're thinking about them, I think, was the trigger, it's the trigger, the impetus, the push. I had been wanting to write thank you notes every morning with my first cup of tea, and for years, and I've been gathering cards and stamps and address labels, and but I never actually started doing it. So I thought that reading that day was the push that I needed to get started, and I didn't start, but then I did start, and I've written at least one thank you that I know has been received because I got a thank you for my thank you. Anyway, we'll see what today brings. The Lace Weight Silk. Oh, good. It's a new to us card. Can you see it? The Lace Weight Silk. So I always try to make up what it means before I see what the suggested interpretations are. It's a multicolored silk. It's not wound into a ball. It's kind of wound into it looks like it's been hanked and then swirled on itself. Multiple colors. What do you call that? Spot dyed? There's a better word for that. Like you lay it out in the hank and then you dye different portions of the hank. So once it gets wound into a ball, it won't look like that. It'll be more splotchy. Lace weight silk, and silk is nice and slippery and luxurious and takes the dye really well also. The lace weight silk. So that's our subject for today, the lace weight silk. So it's maybe something precious, maybe something that you're not going to knit up or work up. This could be weaving or crocheting or artwork. It could be any kind of making. Lace weight is very thin, very, very thin. Most people don't want to work with lace weight. Can make something super ethereal and beautiful. What am I missing? It's arranged in a very lovely fashion, so it could just be that we're collecting the lace weight silk instead of actually planning to use the lightweight silk, or the lightweight. Okay, and then we get some modifiers. The hook, apparently we're going to do something with crocheting, or it could be, I mean, you use a hook to pick up dropped stitches, and silk is very slippery, so it could be that we're not going to have success with our crocheted lace weight silk, lace weight silk. I stopped paying attention. I was looking at something on my screen, and my sentence went kerflooey. It could be that we're going to have trouble with our lace weight silk, and we're going to drop stitches and need to pick them up. The hook could be, the hook for the vaudeville shows where the big hook comes out and pulls people off stage. It could mean that we're not going to finish the thing with the lace weight silk. We're going to pull it off the stage. I don't currently, believe it or not, I don't currently have, oh, that reminds me, I don't currently have anything on the needles with lace weight silk that I can remember. That reminds me, it's November. That means it's time for me to go through all my bags. The hook of the book that grabs attention. Oh, there you go. It could be something that grabs your attention about the lace weight silk. I like it. I like the input from the peanut gallery there, Danielle. The last 2 Novembers, I've had a Facebook Live where I've opened every bag that has an unfinished project. And the first year, I don't know, there were 60 some. And the second year, there were still 60 some, and they were the same projects, which was very disconcerting. So this year might be different because I've redefined what in progress means. But that's coming up this month. Stay tuned. I'm not sure when yet. It won't be Monday because it can't be, because I go to the shop after I do this to work my shift at the shop, Woven Art Yarn Shop in East Lansing. And so I can't be here for like 3 hours, which is how long it takes me to, not really, it's like at least an hour. Anyway, our next modifier is the designer. Oh, we had this last week, I think. So the designer is typically, designing something that we don't know what it is. Has their cup of tea on the top right. There's a pen. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Designing is not a linear process. It's kind of messy. There's a calculator. Something has to do with 53, which incidentally is the only number I remember of the first bus. It's the only bus number I remember. I used to ride bus 53, like when I was in elementary school. So there you go. Blast from the past. So we have the lace weight silk, the hook, and the designer. So on the surface, something that we save for good, we're going to give it a shot with crocheting and design something that's on the surface. Now let's see what the interpretation, the suggested interpretations are. Number 7, that's an early one. The lace weight silk. This is what the suggested interpretation is. Obsession, ambition. Now I didn't go there in my head. Desire, yes. Addiction. Oh. So addiction to lace weight silk. Could that explain the box, the plastic tote box, what's that called, of different lace weight silks that I have in my closet that I've never used, perhaps, maybe? Obsession? Addiction? Okay. Manipulation. Indulgence. Obsession. Ambition. Desire. Addiction. Manipulation. Manipulation. I don't get manipulation. Indulgence. So obsession, desire, addiction, indulgence could all mean like you're worth it kind of things. You deserve it. It's a treat for you to have this yarn. Ambition could be, oh my gosh, what am I thinking trying to knit with lace weight silk? Manipulation, I'm not sure why that's in there. It's a little trickier to work with depending on the kind of silk and how it's processed, it could be more slippery and harder to work with. Okay, and then the second one is 34, the crochet hook. Where the heck is 34? 34, the hook. Stability, longevity, an anchor. Why? Durability, tenacity, safety, steadfastness. So, stability, an anchor, safety. That's the picking up of our drop stitches. Okay, Lindy says, oh, Danielle says that one is wildly varied. I don't know which one you're referring to, sweetie. I need complete sentences. I happen to have, Lindy says, I happen to have some lace weight silk blend, 50%, blended with wool, purchased a few years ago from Annie from Modern, it was Modisette, so it must be Modinit. But I don't know how to say that. It's gorgeous, and I've never done anything with it except look at it and feel its luscious beauty. One thing I won't do with it is crochet. That's funny. Yeah, we'll talk about this. Gosh, I'm going to go over a little bit again. I want to come back to that. Merino, see? I meant the silk card. Yeah, the silk card is just looking so innocent, and it could mean a lot of things, right? Merino and silk, that sounds luscious. I think we're going to have to do something with our silk lace weight, Lindy. I think that's what this means. So there goes my, I mean, maybe I can figure out a, okay. Going off track. The hook, stability, longevity, an anchor, durability, tenacity, safety, steadfastness. It sounds like the hold on. Craziness of working with lace weight silk, which the set is not talking about, but I brought it up, could be handled with a crochet hook. Yeah, Modnit or Modnit. Her name was Annie Modisette. So that's why I wondered how to say, because it looks like Modnit, right? Okay, and then the designer we've had before, but what the heck does that mean? 14, XIV. You don't know why I know Roman numerals and not the metric system. No comment from you, Danielle. The designer. Career, jobs, oh boy, here we go. Work life, ambition, intelligence, shrewdness, cleverness. Career, jobs, work life, ambition. Okay, so here's what I'm getting in my head, which often has to do with me, but why wouldn't it? It's my head, right? I have a large stash of lace weight silk, a lot of different ones. I have made one lace weight silk shawl, which perhaps it's time to block and weave in the ends on, but that's not what this is telling me. It's saying that the hook would provide stability, maybe to my brain, maybe if I crocheted something, even though Lindy's like, I'm not crocheting anything with it. I agree, I wouldn't have thought of it. But maybe if I find a crochet project that would be nice and easy with some of my lace weight silk, that would be a nice way to actually finally use some of it. And the designer would mean I'm not looking for a pattern, I'm making shit up, right? So here's the thing. You've seen, I'm pulling out my hair. You've seen, you've seen my, well, you may have seen, depending on if you've been here before. I put it by the front door because I'm going to take it to work today in case I can weave in ends. But I made a giant granny square out of lace weight yarn. It's wool and alpaca, once again, the Rowan fine lace. Oh, Estonian lace. Yeah, something from Denise Bell from Last City Knits would be lovely. Hi, Deb. Tunisian, that's a possibility too, but maybe I should take a class first, which I'm signed up for on November 20th. Hi, Deb. It's nice to see you too. I'm thinking, so I used 4 colors of the Rowan Fine. No, I don't know what it's called. The Rowan yarn that's lace weight. That's normally I can tell you what it's called. Anyway, I picked 4 colors and I made a granny square from the center out, which is how we do that, until it was so big that it wouldn't fit on this screen, and just one big granny square. And that was some learning how to actually put the hook in the right place and to make my first granny square. And I'm writing it up as a pattern, yay me, because it's pretty simple, but it has some hints and tricks in it for crocheters or new crocheters. Kids silk. Yeah, but no, it's not silk, it's wool and alpaca. Fine. It might just be called fine. Oh God, let's look it up. My eyes will go elsewhere because I'm going to look it up. I think maybe it's fine lace. Rowan fine lace. Yep, it's just called Rowan fine lace. I'm coming back to you now. No, I need to get back to your comments too, though. There we go. Yep, fine lace. Thank you, Lonnie. Lonate. Where'd that go? Okay, yeah, so fine lace. Okay, now we're going to start the second cup of tea. That's how much tea I need today. Perfect temperature. Okay. Perhaps I need another sample. So I think what I'll do is look at my lace weight. I mean, some of my lace weight is not suitable for that. Oh, that's not silk though. Wow, that would be fun. Oh, ideas twirling around for my granny square. The thing about lace weight is if you have a hank of it, it's usually like 1,200 yards. So there's a fuck ton of yarn there. And so if you do a 4-color granny square, that's going to be huge, or you're not going to use all your yarn, and then you still have your lace weight silk. All right, I'm going to go with, here's my reading. Are you ready? Something that you've been saving for good, or that you've been saving. Figure out a way to use it that you hadn't thought of before, like fancy ingredients. Go to Betty Crocker. I don't know where that just came from. Like the spice cabinet, there's spices you have that you are just hanging on to. Find something and use them. I'm saying that because I cleaned out my spice cabinet once again this weekend. Yeah, something you're hanging on to. A book you haven't read. Spices you haven't used. The yarn that you haven't used. Find a way to use it that's not crazy, not a weird recipe. If it's a book you've wanted to read, but it's too involved, try it on an audiobook, for example, or find the abridged version. But bring it down to a way you can use it. I'm going to look at my box of lace weight silk. I may veer into the lace weight wool, though, that I have, that I bought during one of the sales at the shop in all the colors of the rainbow. And then I also bought lace weight mohair in the same colors. That reminds me. So, and I was going to hold them together or alternate them, and maybe this is that thing, although it would never use all that yarn, but maybe this is that thing. Or this doesn't mean you have to make up a pattern. It just means you get to be the boss of what you're going to do with it and how you're going to do it. There you go. I don't know what my reading just was. I just told you I can't bring it down more than that. So you can just go listen to it again and figure out what you want to do. I don't care if you do anything, but that's what I'm going to think about for the next, 30 seconds while I go grab my box of lace weight. Thank you for being with me. It was lovely to see all of you, some new faces, some new comments. And Danielle, welcome back. If you are indeed back, maybe you're still on your way back. She was on a cruise to Hawaii. Hawaii. It was a cruise. Yeah, it was a cruise. So, and Danielle, maybe I'll see you today if you're back, because we both work Mondays. Okay. See you later. See you next week, maybe.